Hey guys, this is Exo Tango 9. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial of my 3-cylinder engine in Trailmakers. Now I did start off and get the main crank assembly, which I used the V2 helicopter and servos. The servos are intended to do the offset of each degree for the placement of the crank journals and whatnot. Anywho, I'm going to preload the design in. The first from left to right is 120 degrees and you put the speed to -1. The next one is 120 degrees and you leave speed at 1. And then the following one after that, you change to 240 degrees and leave the speed at 1. This way it will offset each one by 120 degrees, equaling 360. My intent of the tutorial is to get people inspired making their own engine. I have a request for my V8 build, but I want to maybe demonstrate this 3-cylinder engine to inspire people to try building and figuring it out for themselves. Because a lot of times I can get overwhelmed by just looking at something like, wow, what is going on? And then once you figure it out, it's like, oh, okay, that's not that bad. Right now, I'm setting up the timing for my trigger system, which is distance sensors. I'll set up a distance sensor for each cylinder. Basically, it's acting as a distributor. I'm triggering each point with a block when it spins around on that crank to trigger the distance sensor to fire off the thruster, which propels which gets everything in motion. So hopefully, I can't really speed it up, but I'm gonna go along with it. It should be only 5-10 minutes worth of footage. I'm using pistons to set up the cylinder walls. This will allow me to fine tune how tight the tolerance is between the skis and the blocks for the cylinder wall. I like using pipe. It seems to be fairly sturdy. It allows better aesthetics. You can see a bit more. And I liked making everything opaque so you can kind of see through. Well, I want to make it opaque enough to see through, but see what the structure is. But that'll be at the very, very end, and I'm probably going to end it before I change the actual coloring. The Steam Workshop will have the final revision of my this engine, and it's actually submitted for the build challenge. I usually set the pistons starting position to 0.4. I do add armor plating on the insides just for that little bit of tolerance and I suppose durability, but having the skis on and running the engine nonstop for a very long time. It's never broken or worn out a block from collision. There's just limitations on, I'd imagine, due to the ticks in the game, how fast an engine can spin due to the um, pickup point. If it's spinning so fast and it misses that tick to where it hit the sensor and it's just not going to fire. I do have another engine build. It was a 4-cylinder boxer style engine with variable timing. I used two sensors to actuate a servo to retard and advance the timing. So that's another thing you can do. Just slap a servo on the end of your crank. Put your block for your timing on that, and then you can set two blocks on the side, one to retard, one to advance when you stand in front of them with your character. Just change it by a few degrees because it's not much to see a difference. Just like in real life. Throw a few degrees at it, you'll see a difference. Um, let's see. I'm adding. You can go as low as like 1 or 2 is probably more stable high. 3 just for demonstration and reliability. The longer the stroke, the more reliable I've gotten it to rotate. Like the winning uh, challenge from last year was a giant engine, like huge engine. Um, like 20 times the size of this thing. Well, maybe not 20, maybe 10 times, like pretty big. And the stroke on that was massive. But as soon as I dumbed it down to these little basic engines, I found that like 1 or 2 high is probably the max that you want to go with thruster style or the bullet style, if you want to call it bullet style. You can use projectiles. Like you can put cannons on or the gun. I haven't tried the Gatling gun. That'd be interesting. Gatling gun engine coming soon. just yeah, just try different things. That's all I've done. You just try, see what works, what doesn't work, and that's how I came up with my engine designs. Just think of something and stick at it. If you have an idea, try to get it to work. All right. Now, I think we have everything set up. I end the game, I believe. This is where I'm like, I'm pretty content with this. I believe at this point I'm going to be doing the trigger system by adding an aerodynamic piece on either end of the crank just to keep it a little more balanced. I did have the configurator, I think, set the thrusters down to the lowest of 0.1 to start, but they can run at the full thrust. Um, but sometimes messing around with that could help diagnose issues that you're having. Like if it's not running right when you build your own, try turning down the thrusters. It could be moving it too fast, or you could have an object colliding with another object. Especially if you look now, like in between the servos and the in between parts in there, you want to leave that as clear as possible because any kind of part in between it, even pipes, or pipes seem to be fine, but it adds some strange, like, it does something weird. So I don't like putting pipes in. I messed around with pipes and on the crank itself, but it doesn't work out. you build a bigger assembly to where you have more space and can add counterweight, that's definitely the way to go. Counterweight assemblies have like worked. I've made big engines. I have an inline six that I made with counterweight, and it actually looks like more of an engine, or more of a crank, I should say. You, there, I got the trigger system going. I believe that I was not content with the firing order. After all said and done, I think I was having issues with it, and I think this had an issue. Yeah, I can't quite remember what it was, but we got two cylinders of the three working. It's like, what was my issue? I can't recall. And I spent how much time on this? Like 10, 15 minutes, I think, to get it going, but you'll run into weird things. It's like you have them all facing in. You have the trigger. So I have the other sensor to trigger the servos before I forget. You have a sensor next to that to trigger the servos to move to their position. And you also want to configure everything to have no resistance. Like the servos hold their position, they have full strength. The helicopter V2s have zero speed and zero button. Same with any other block, zero button control. You want this automated. You want it doing it all itself. I already went over thrusters, what you set them at. But the trigger system, each one is for each set. And a set is one piston. Right now, I'm just trying to mess around with the positioning and try to figure out what's going on, why it's just deleting, re-adding blocks. And I seem to have it operating how I want it. And now with the timing, you do the same exact thing. Um, Determine how many trigger points, and then you have to kind of determine the distance of the blocks and the trigger positions. But since the big hinge are 60 degrees each, I needed two of them to get the 120, and that allowed me to get that pretty symmetrical firing system. So each point was roughly 120 degrees, probably off a few degrees because it's a game, but you do that. Hopefully, I described enough of it for someone to follow along in the video and maybe get something going. Feel free to reach out at my Discord for help. I'm always down to help. And we're having a small community of gamers trying to get together. We play Forza, play Satisfactory, WoW. So stop in, check it out. I think I'm just going to be fiddling around. Oh, I had it set to 0.2. I'm sorry. I'm going to be turning that up. And then just demonstrate it's fine at full speed. Just as stable. Now I'm just trying to mess with the timing a bit. Like if you add a little extra on the end there, you're going to add more to the duration of the firing. Lookout didn't really like that much, so you can spawn it in again. Sometimes it's all glitchy. I think I think it just didn't like the sound of it. So I end up deleting another one. But you can play around with that too, like adding some length to it to like overlap maybe um into the next firing sequence, or split it up, make it even shorter so it's like a pulse and you hear it more. I actually might try that now. Um, let's do that. Let's play. Let's play and load that up. I'll load this engine up and I'm going to make a short trigger. It's going to be one block. So let's go to main. Yay. Let's do that. The one block trigger. And then you can hear how different it is for the pulses. I'm on an old computer streaming, so forgive the load times. I don't know why it's taking this long. Maybe because I am streaming. It just can't handle it all. There it goes. I thought. Anywho, thanks for your patience. Here's the final. Oh, let's fix that. Oh, did I leave? That's fascinating. Why does it have this? Huh. Well, I wanted a 1 point trigger anyway. I guess let's do that and that. Okay. Did I get a weird save? Hmm. You know what can be done? This. Let's see if we can do this. Oops. Let's do that. And this is turning into a bigger project than I anticipated. Let's just do one of those to make it. Let's make this easy. I need an extra set to support that. I could always do... Alright, so to make the triggering system on this one, seeing it's opposite, I'm going to do this. Um, and then, you know how I said I don't use pipes often? Let's use pipes. Okay. That one goes first, second. So this goes down the line. Alright. I need to turn these off though. The one thing, I have the trigger system. Oh no. You know what's wrong with this? It needs to be like different. No. My brain's still sleeping. Alright. It needs to be there. 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 Okay. Double the weight on either end. And yeah, okay, I see a solution. Yes, yes, yes. And then let's make it like, oh, okay. We'll do that. Sure. Save vehicle as uh inline 6. Oh shoot. Let's fix the top ones. They're not supposed to fire anything. Because alright, hold on. If it's 180 degrees, uh, this is where my brain's gonna hurt. Stop it. Alright. That's, see, you can see how the triggering isn't exact because of the distance between the corners. The ones on the sides are a bit closer, but now we have maybe, you know what, maybe the triggering is too close. So let me see if I can change the triggering distance down a little bit and still get it to trigger. Because that's what you want. You want each one to trigger. That looks a little better. Okay, so if, alright, I think I'm gonna have to like stop everything from firing by uh holding the position. Okay, so if that's firing, this one's firing, and actually, that top one, hold on, that one's firing? Ah, perfect. Okay, that makes it super simple. So the order is exactly as goes. If this one, oops, if that one's that, and the next one, because this overlaps from the top, is going to be the next set. And then the next one after that is going to be the middle ones. And then the one after that is going to be this one. So that's going to be that middle one. And then the next one is going to be this one. So it's going to be the front set. And then the last one is going to be the back ones, which that will be the front set. And now I took a 3-cylinder, cobbled it together with another one, and added my counter mass in the back, and then switched my timing around a bit. Remember these overlap in the opposite direction when they fold over, so you gotta know which one is which. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that pattern. See how simple it is? It's the same pattern. That's the firing order. And it should be fine. As it just is like, I don't want to work. Hmm. You know what? It would help if I removed its brake and then a quick reload, because it works so good. It's like one constant sound. All the power. So there it is. It just the timing is so tight that it's just one constant thrust sound. Whoosh. All right, well, hopefully you guys can be inspired to do some engine creation yourself. Again, join the Discord, hit me up, and I'll be glad to help with what I can. Thanks for watching.